The Trump administration is making it harder for Coloradans who want to get the COVID vaccine.
So my hope was to get one early to mid-September. Now that's very much up in the air.
Xcel's clean energy transition will not be cheap for customers. Are Trader Joe's parking lots all over town really that bad, or is this just something we've convinced ourselves of? Our every Friday search for Coloradans' good news is about whatever suits them.
My good news is that I'm about to go eat.
I have some logistical questions about how that works. Next. Coloradans who want the COVID vaccine this fall will have a harder time getting it because of the Trump administration's policies. The shot could end up being more expensive, and some people may struggle to get access to the vaccine at all. Our Evan Krugel explains.
On the front door of this Denver Walgreens sits a pledge that the company is here for all your vaccine needs. But if the vaccine you need is the COVID vaccine, you may have to jump through some extra hoops this year to get it.
So my hope was to get one early to mid-September. Now that's very much up in the air.
Jeff Flax tried to sign up for his vaccine in Jefferson County this week.
I tried to schedule through CVS, through King Soopers, and through Walgreens. And all three said that they're not able to schedule at this time.
We tried to schedule an appointment too and got this message saying a prescription would be required.
That really concerned me.
Turns out Colorado is one of 16 states with a law that says pharmacists can only administer vaccines that are recommended by a federal advisory committee, the same committee that was just gutted by Health Secretary RFK Jr. and replaced with new members with anti-vaccine views. If they don't issue a recommendation for the vaccine, Coloradans will have to get a prescription from a doctor to get the shot.
I've been getting my vaccines at my local pharmacy. And so I'm not really sure what my alternatives will be. Doctor's office, urgent care. So I said, going up to Wyoming.
That's right. Wyoming is one of 34 states without a law requiring a prescription. Coloradans can also head to Kansas or Nebraska to get a shot while waiting for potential CDC approval.
So to say that, yeah, we're just waiting for CDC approval. What does that mean? Till this year, that hasn't been a problem. It was pretty perfunctory. Now it's not.
Vaccines are expected to begin arriving in the coming days. That advisory committee is not scheduled to meet again until late next month. For Next, I'm Evan Krugel.
Without a recommendation from the federal government, insurance companies won't be legally required to pay for the vaccine, although most providers look at a variety of factors to determine what costs to cover. For people 65 and older, Medicare will still cover the cost of a COVID vaccine. Denver Health is preparing to lose more than $60 million a year in funding due to Republican cuts to Medicaid. That hospital's CEO shared the projection with Denver City Council recently. As a safety net hospital, Denver Health treats patients regardless of their ability to pay, and the number of uninsured patients has been skyrocketing in recent years. In 2023, they estimate 400,000 Coloradans lost Medicaid when the COVID public health emergency expired. They're expecting even more Coloradans to lose Medicaid coverage in 2027 and 2028 when new federal work requirements and funding cuts take effect. All in all, they expect to lose $64 million at Denver Health each year. It was last year when voters approved a sales tax increase that'll kick in up to $70 million per year to Denver Health. But we should note that money is earmarked for certain uses, and it can't just backfill lost Medicaid funding. This rainy week has been a godsend for firefighters, but it's not going to put a dent in the long-term drought on the western slope, where they have had a brutal summer of fires that could stretch into the fall. So let's do something together as a community to reduce the fire risk in a few places across our state. This week's Word of Thanks microgiving campaign is funding wildfire mitigation projects from the Front Range to the western slope. We're working with the Colorado Youth Corps Association to tackle 3 projects that are all in limbo due to the state of federal funding. First up, Southwest Conservation Corps project outside Durango. The goal is to protect the source of the city's drinking water and also to create fire breaks to keep a future wildfire from spreading into neighborhoods. Then there is a Rocky Mountain Youth Corps project outside Steamboat Springs. That was designated a high priority project to protect against a catastrophic wildfire in northwest Colorado. But the U.S. Forest Service now says it's not going to be able to pay for it this year. The third project will be along the 285 corridor near Conifer this winter. Mile High Youth Corps is going to be working there with the Forest Service to burn slash piles and prepare for the prescribed burns. These teams are ready to go. They're just waiting on funding. So our generosity will make sure that these projects happen, even if the federal funding doesn't come through. Here's the best part. We checked on this, and all of these groups will be able to use the federal funding for additional wildfire mitigation if it just comes in late. Scan the QR code on your screen or text the word thanks to 303-871-1491 to get the link to join me in donating. Your 5 years of microgiving raising $15 million proves what $5 donations can do. And nearly 6,000 of you are making a monthly donation to the Word of Thanks Fund. Put in your info once. Each month, your donations automatically split among all the nonprofits we feature. It's meant these recent microgiving campaigns have started with more than $35,000 in donations. Hey, a quick note about tonight's program. It's going to have a little bit of a different flow because we are currently broadcasting on both Channel 9 and Channel 20 until 6:15, and then we will turn you over to the scintillating Colorado Rockies baseball team. That will air on both channels. Next, we'll continue streaming only on 9 News Plus until 6:30. Wait until you see what they let us put on the stream. When we come back, Colorado's dropping a lawsuit against the sheriff's deputy accused of illegally assisting immigration agents. Xcel customers be warned, the utility's green energy future won't come cheap.
It's going to gradually increase to about 2031, and that's when you'd start to see that extra $45 or $75 on your bill.
$75 on a bill. Our weekly search for our neighbor's good news led us to some interesting spaces and places. We will go there next. Colorado's Attorney General has dropped a lawsuit against the Mesa County deputy accused of breaking state law to help federal immigration agents. A judge agreed that the lawsuit is moot at this point because Deputy Alexander Zwinnick has turned in his resignation. Zwinnick's accused of helping ICE detain a 19-year-old named Caroline Diaz-Goncalves back in June. Goncalves is originally from Brazil. She has a pending asylum case. The deputy pulled her over for driving too close to a truck, just let her go with a warning. But then he alerted a group chat that included ICE agents, and that's when they came in and nabbed her. Democratic Attorney General Phil Weiser said the deputy violated the state law restricting cooperation between local law enforcement and federal immigration agents. And even the Mesa County Sheriff admitted that lines of collaboration were crossed. But now that Zwinnick has resigned, the AG says the law doesn't apply to him. So AG Weiser's office says they can only refile the lawsuit against Zwinnick if he takes a new job with a different state or local agency.
Finally, Friday, we made it through the week, and a great week with cooler than average temperatures and beneficial rain. But we have a lot of sports tonight, a lot of games going on, and the rain could be a factor. Temperatures are right now in the mid-70s outside, but there's some showers coming down in areas like downtown Denver and also in Boulder. The Rockies take the field at 6:40 with a first pitch temperature of 75 degrees. Up in Boulder, the rain's been coming and going for the Buffs' first game of the season. Again, pack the rain gear if you're going. We do expect additional shower activity coming in tonight. So far, nothing severe, and the showers aren't lingering, but we will see a secondary wave move into Denver and Boulder about 8 or 9 o'clock. We're not part of the severe thunderstorm watch for southeastern Colorado that goes till 10, but this next wave of showers will be coming through between about 8:30 and midnight tonight. We have one more day tomorrow with cooler than average temperatures and a chance for rain ahead of a nice warming and drying trend. Labor Day Monday, sunshine in 80s. That trend continues for the first few days of the new month of September.
Xcel's pledging to stop burning coal. Instead, they're going to burn through cash. Their grid of the future won't come cheap. And when we went downtown to collect Coloradans' good news on a Friday, we found it for sure.
My good news is spending time with friends, doing what I love, just having a great time here in Denver.
All right, time to turn you over to Rockies baseball. If you're watching on Channel 9 or Channel 20, Cubs fans have packed Wrigley West tonight. They'll be filling in shortly. See you on the stream. Welcome back to the stream. In a few years, when my job is replaced by an AI news anchor, that very boring but very perfect fake will require a lot of energy, like actual electricity. Xcel Energy is preparing for the high demand times to come, in part due to AI. And state regulators have agreed on a framework for Xcel to transition from coal to the grid of the future. Our Marshall Zellinger shows us what that could mean for customers.
Xcel Energy's coal generation plants in Pueblo and Routt County will close in the next 5 years. Also in the next 5 years, Xcel will accelerate transitioning to cleaner fuels and creating new power generation for the future.
Yeah, 5,000 megawatts.
Xcel has approval from state regulators to come up with a plan to build out an infrastructure for enough power for data centers, population growth, and future electrification needs.
That 5,000 megawatts, the estimate that's typically quoted is $7.5 billion.
Maxwell Brown is an economic and business professor at the Colorado School of Mines, and he's done some basic calculations for how much customers will pay Xcel for $7.5 billion in new wind farms, solar plants, and transmission lines built in the next 5 years.
So I think the average customer bill in Colorado is somewhere around $150 per month, and that's per household. And so a 30 to 50% increase would be an extra $45 to $75 per month.
Brown believes that estimate might be low because building new power infrastructure could cost considerably more if the president's tariffs remain on steel and aluminum.
If we're talking $7.5 billion, that's somewhere between $0.9 and $1.1 billion extra.
You know, now you won't have a coal plant that you can rely on, so what is going to replace that within your community?
Angeline Letourneau's expertise at the School of Mines is on energy transition and society. Even if a wind farm or solar array replaces the coal plant, jobs won't transfer one for one.
They're just not as labor intensive as coal mining is. So it's not like we can build a bunch of solar farms or wind farms and expect to employ everyone who is employed in a coal plant facility, hence this need to create new jobs in other fields besides just energy.
Xcel will need to get approval from state regulators on all new infrastructure requests, but Brown says his math seems in line with what customers should be paying.
In order to get there, it's going to cost money, and that's just the way of the world.
Something else that could push costs up on customers, the expiration and elimination of federal clean energy credits. Though separately from this transition plan, Xcel is trying to fast-track some projects to still receive these federal benefits while Xcel can. And here's my math on 5,000 megawatts. It can fuel 4 to 5 trips on Doc Brown's DeLorean.
Oh, that was very nice. I hope the grid of the future actually comes with that sound effect, like every time you turn on the lights. Could you imagine how annoying that would be?
Do you know how much that'll cost customers? Because it'll get added onto the bill.
They're going to see a charge. It's going to say grid of the future noise, 5 cents every single time. Marshall, thank you. A federal appeals court has blocked the Trump administration's plan to revoke legal protections from 600,000 Venezuelans living in this country. Homeland Security wants to roll back the protections by mid-September. A panel of 3 judges for the Ninth Circuit held that lower court's ruling maintains temporary protected status, or TPS, for those Venezuelans. That status grants immigrants from certain countries permission to live and work in the U.S. if they're fleeing natural disaster or political chaos. Former President Joe Biden extended TPS for Venezuelans just before he left office. So far, courts have ruled the plaintiffs are likely to prove that Trump's Department of Homeland Security does not have the authority to revoke prior authorizations. The appeals court agreed and said the system is meant to be, quote, dependable and insulated from electoral politics. Trader Joe's is planning a new location in Denver's Platt Park neighborhood. Great news for fans of snacks, bad news for fans of hassle-free parking. It got us wondering why Trader Joe's parking lots are notoriously small, crowded, and chaotic. A civil engineering professor told our Spencer Soischer there's actually a good reason.
Welcome to hell, or as kinder people call it, the Trader Joe's parking lot at 8th and Colorado Boulevard.
Near the store in Denver, out on the tiny postage stamp of a parking lot there.
For 11 years now, Trader Joe's and their infamously small and oddly configured lots off Colorado and another at Logan and 7th have been filled with Colorado shoppers.
People love Trader Joe's. Every place you go, it's hard to get in.
For those who made it out alive 11 years ago, the stores are now less crowded and there's more of them. with possibly a 10th coming to Platt Park soon.
I can see why there's some frustrations in terms of the design, but in terms of the supply number, I feel good about what it seems like they're trying to do.
Wes Marshall is a civil engineering professor at CU Denver in the Urban and Regional Planning Department.
I go to the one on 9th in Colorado.
Wes says Trader Joe's Denver lots are likely the size that they are because the stores aren't that big.
I think they do a better job of getting the number of parking spaces right, like more so than, like the mall or the grocery store. Like those places are notorious for providing way too much parking.
It's not just Denver shoppers rubbing elbows and maybe dinging doors.
What is up with our parking lots?
This is from a national Trader Joe's run podcast. Yeah, that's really a thing.
This can be traced back to the very first location. When you design a parking space or you allocate spaces for parking for a retail store, it's based on the size of the store.
More than a decade ago, the current Denver lots were large enough to gain city approval.
The data shows time and time again that most every place is just oversupplied in terms of parking. The Trader Joe's I've seen are more aligned with probably what the number should be.
How soothing was that Trader Joe's podcast voice? Giving me the sleeps. Another urban planner that we talked to pointed out that Trader Joe's are often built in walkable neighborhoods in busy cities, and not all of their customers need a car or a parking spot. So basically the opposite of the suburban warehouse giants like Costco, where you have acres of paved prairie for parking. We are back with your feedback and a good news segment unlike any other next. Denver's 16th Street Mall has a new name, 16th Street. Congrats to the marketers who got $100K for that bit of genius. But the place still has a knack for attracting interesting people. So that's where we went for our favorite Friday tradition, asking Coloradans, what's your good news?
We are furries, and we love to be who we are and express ourselves the way we like to.
I think it's awesome. I think it's entertaining, it's fascinating.
Everyone around is expressing themselves and being who they are inside and sharing that with us, and that's incredible to me in this world that's so fearful of everything. There's one over there.
My good news is that I'm about to go eat.
Oh, my good news is I'm in Little Shop of Horrors this year at school. So exciting. I get to be the masochist.
My good news is spending time with friends, doing what I love, just having a great time here in Denver, enjoying the weekend.
My good news is, even though the school year just started, my kids told me that they had the best summer ever.
My good news is I am eating a croissant.
My good news is that I'm going to college.
My good news is it's never too late to find love. I'm 68 and I just found my love of my life.
You can just wear this and act like your actual self without worrying, so it's kind of comforting.
Just another day on 16th Street. Listen, who am I to criticize what anybody is wearing, you know what I'm saying? Megan says, I love the jacket. I would consider getting a sofa covered in that fabric. I would encourage you to check your local Goodwill. Reed says, requiring a prescription for those who just want to receive the COVID vaccine is crazier than wearing that Barnum and Bailey jacket on the news. Thanks for hanging out in the stream. See you next time.